You guys want some bagels? I'll sell you this whole stick. $5. Hey! Hey! Okay, happy Halloween! Happy Halloweener! OMG. Welcome back to Rafa's Rats. Oh, well, welcome back. Fucking after a millennium of not have... Actually, no, it's not even... Oh my god, I'm shaking. It hasn't been that long since I last posted a podcast. Right. Already too much spit in my mouth. This is how excited I am, ladies and ladies. The last podcast I posted was with James, which was just before my birthday. So it's been like a month, almost 2 months. Okay, yeah, this seems about right. Seems about white. Just to get a few things out the way. Obviously, yes, I'm dressed up as Tebow. Possibly the best character from iCarly. And actually, maybe my favourite character is Guppy. It's either Guppy or Tebow. Maybe joint. Like, Tebow, I don't know, he's just, like, the goated, like, you know a TV show is doing it right when they have a character that's not got much screen time but is, like, a fan favourite. That is Tebow, and Guppy, and Neville, and Gibby. But then they kind of made Gibby a more, like, a regular, but, like, my favourite is Guppy and Tebow. So I'm dressed as Tebow. These are not regular bagels. I know these are quite dark. The bagels he sells, I think, are just plain bagels. These are cinnamon and raisin because, fun fact, I'm not actually a huge plain bagel fan. What would I do with it? Smoked salmon and cream cheese? Am I a monster? I'm a motherfucking monster. Oh my god. Who has seen the... Who's seen the text between Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens talking about how gagged they were when they listened to Nicki Minaj? I'm sorry, like, she is mourning because her gay best friend died. Don't even get me started on Charlie Kirk because we have a lot to cover since the last time I did an episode. But yeah, I'm dressed up, happy Halloweener, and what's the other thing I was going to say? I literally have no idea what I was going to say. Okay, that's perfect. That's a great start. Welcome back. Yes, welcome back. This costume, perfect. I'm holding up the bagels with an empty toilet roll from Who Gives a Crap, specifically. Love their toilet roll. It is so nice and textured. I love it. This polo, not even Fruit of the Loom. What the hell? Not even Fruit of the Loom. Size XL. Will I be giving this to my dad immediately after? Maybe. Maybe I'll keep it for myself. I don't think orange is an awful colour on me. Do kind of feel like George Bluth Sr. Is anyone else getting that vibe? Have you seen Arrested Development? I kind of feel a bit Arrested Development-y. I feel like George Bluth Sr. when he goes to prison and just absolutely loves it, which... I was going to say I'd be scared that would happen to me, but I would literally be shitting bricks, especially because I have such anxiety around time. So I think going to prison would actually be one of the worst things to happen to me. But also, I do think I have it in me to kill someone. So, who knows? But at least we know orange is the new black. Yes, I am eating the house down. And right, 24 saying these things. 24 understanding what 6-7 means. I don't actually fully understand it, but I know what it is. Like, it's not... Like, what is scary is I quit my job, right? Classic me, classic quitter. We know that I'm a quitter. Like, I've got no shame in my game. But before I left, they hired a new 16-year-old. Loved her. Sam, if you're watching, love you. Actually, all of the young ones, right? So maybe I do deserve to be in this orange jumpsuit. It's not a jumpsuit, it's just a polo. I've got my chuppa chups on underneath. Ooh, you want to guess what comfy clothes I'm wearing under here? Oh, that was awful. But no, I'm saying they're all above 16, so don't look at me like that, but they're all young workers because they're 16, 17, 18. They are a great group of people, absolutely love them. They hired Sam, and I was like, Sam, I like this girl. She has great humour and she got all of my niche references. And then at the end I was like, what's scary is that the person who understands my humour and my references the most is 16 and I am 24. I am 8 years older than her. Like, that is terrifying to me because the thing is I am just constantly in this perpetual state of like, I am chopped and I am unk, and then they started calling me auntie at work and it actually just ruined my life. Like, imagine being called auntie at the ripe age of 24, and then I'll see things on Instagram that's like, girl, why are you trying to figure it out? You're 24, your whole life's ahead of you. And I'm like, is it? Is it? Because at one point I was like, I'm just going to die. Like, I'm not going to live past 18. And now I'm, how many years past 18 am I? I'm 6 years past 18. Not a fucking flying fucking clue. A flying fucking clue what I'm doing. Not a Scooby-Doo. Literally no inclination as to what I'm doing. What I'm doing is, as I'm sitting in bed and I'm watching films like My Life Depends on It, logging them on Letterboxd while I make little short compilation clips of my podcast and I post it to my new account because that's something I do. What? That's something I did. Because I was thinking, the only person who's going to make it happen is me. You don't have to be afraid to put your dreams in action, but we're not going to talk about that right now because I am sporting the iCarly. Also, I did decorate for Halloween. I don't know if you can see this behind me. I printed out a picture of a pumpkin and I was going to write Halloween on it, but then I got confused and I wrote pumpkin. So there's my pumpkin. Oh no, my dad is home. Is that my dad? Yep, that's Steve Poogan. Interesting, because I could have gone out and got a pumpkin and carved it, but fucking hell, who the F do you think I am? I'm not going to do that. I'm really sorry, I'm not going to do that. Pumpkins are cheap, but paper and a printer that's already been paid for and bought is cheaper for me. And also, I didn't have to go out. Like, these bagels, do you think I went and got these? No, I didn't. My cousin got me these, and then I Monzo'd her the money, and then I referred her to get a Monzo account so that we could both get 10, 20 or 50 pounds. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really trying to limit my time going outside. Maybe I kind of would be good in prison, but they wouldn't let me have my phone and they probably wouldn't let me watch films. The only way prison would work for me is if I get to watch films and I have a phone purely for Letterboxd. Nothing else. Also, how often are you allowed to eat hummus in prison? How often are you allowed to have a flatbread? Like, I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I don't know if it would work. Oh, Steve Poogan's causing a ruckus. Steve Poogan, if you didn't know, is my dad, which I put this bandana on him because I kind of thought I was also given, like, Prison Mike from The Office. And so I put on my dad and I was like, you kind of look like Prison Mike. And then someone else said to me, no, he looks like George Bluth from Arrested Development. And I said, oh, I've seen that. But I don't know if the people know the meaning behind my dad's name. My dad's last name isn't actually Poogan, which reminds me of a hilarious story when my dad was buying a part for his lorry, because Poogan, basically, if you didn't know, there's an actor called Steve Coogan, which I didn't know that, which is so funny because I just thought my brother made up the name Steve Poogan and I was like, okay, creative genius. No, it's a play on Steve Coogan, who plays Alan Partridge. But he's called Steve Coogan in real life. So my brother was like, oh, Steve Poogan, because my dad sucks up shit for a living, right? Right. But my dad ordered a part for the lorry, and obviously he was going to pay for it through, like, the business. And on WhatsApp, my dad's name was Steve Poogan. So the guy sending the part for the lorry was like, can I just check I've got your address correct? And he addressed it to Steve Poogan, and my dad was like, sorry. I don't know what he said. I think he was like, sorry, my son's a bastard. That's not actually my name. My name is Steve Fuller, which, yes, is where I notoriously get my name Maisie Fuller from. But imagine your name actually being Steve Poogan. Like, that's his out on Instagram. Don't even get me started on my dad having Instagram. That is probably the worst thing we ever did, is giving my dad an Instagram account. He is addicted to Instagram Reels. Like, the person that you know who is the most addicted to Instagram Reels because they don't have TikTok, times that by 10, double it and give it to the next person, and then add 1,000. That is how addicted he is to Instagram Reels. I'm telling you now. It's actually a bit scary, the amount of Reels I get sent. But, like, I love it because I'm like, oh, Steve Poogan sent me a Reel. But there's no end to it. No end. Hi, Da. Look at my bagels on a stick. Look at my bagels on a stick. Do you like it? Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Okay, let's go. So, yeah. Also, speaking of Stevens, I think I hate Stephen Bartlett a lot. No, I actually don't think that. I know that I hate Stephen Bartlett a lot, which is quite funny because we weren't, oh my god, actually this leads me on to a great topic of conversation, which is the Celebrity Traitors. We were watching or catching up on Celebrity Traitors yesterday, and before Celebrity Traitors there's Dragon's Den. Lord knows how the fuck that program is still running. One thing about my dad, he will scream at inanimate objects as if anything is going to change by doing that. And I wonder where I get my anger from. Anyway, I hate Stephen Bartlett. We turned on Traitors, and Dragon's Den was on before it. And I just think they all sit there and they're like, you know, your brand is fantastic and it's a really great product, but actually I fucking hate it and it's stupid and dumb and I hate you and you're ugly. Like, that's how it sounds to me. And then, like, the voiceover will be like, the dragons are impressed, but stone-faced cold bitch dragon Deborah Meaden wants to know more. And she's like, why can't I have 100% of your company? Can I just ask? And like, it'll be an emotional pitch. They'll be like, my dad died and then I did this, and they're like, oh, so moving, but your product is dog shit. Like, that is the truth. Anyway, so, and then they invited, for whatever reason, Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a Bath CFO, CEO, sorry, onto it, and he's like, I actually disagree with all the dragons because I think the product's great, but I actually hate it as well. Like, and I'm just sat there like, even if you offered me like £1 million, I'd be like, shove it, just shove it. Like, I find him so annoying, and all of his podcast episodes, the clips that come up, I think I've blocked him now because I'm just like, fuck off, out of here. Like, you are not welcome on my For You page. Like, this is meant to be a mystical, magical place, and you're there infiltrating it. And he'll be like, okay, right, cool, so you got abused as a child. Why? Like, why do you think that happened? Like, what happened to, like, unlock that memory for you? And it's like, I don't know, I got traumatized and abused. Like, anyway. And then, so I'm saying to my mum, I'm like, oh, I hate Stephen Bartlett. And she goes, you can't hate him, you don't know him. And I said, you would be scared of what I'm capable of. I said, I carry so much hate in my heart that it's actually a bit, like, terrifying. Like, and if you want evidence of this, just go onto the Labour government's Instagram page, because I actively leave hate comments on their Instagram. I actively DM Keir Starmer telling him how much I hate him. I at him on my story. I atted the Met Police the other day. I was like, you guys are idiots. You are idiots. Because one thing about me, I will run my mouth on a platform. I won't stop. I will constantly do it. Like, I am going to speak my truth. Like, hate me if you want. Guess what? Most of my family do. Don't even get me started. And it's like, guess what? People are allowed to have different opinions. Like, you're the one being like, I'm allowed to have my opinion. Okay, so why aren't I allowed to have mine? That's what annoys me about stuff like this. But don't get me wrong, like I've said, hate Keir Starmer. Hate him. Rachel Reeves, idiot. I actually think, this is my analogy that I thought of yesterday. Keir Starmer has a very bready, like, doughy looking face, a sort of face that you just want to cave in and punch. Anyway, so he looks to me a lot like Elon Musk. So my analogy is, they were born as twins. I don't know how old either of them are. I don't care to know, and I do not want to know their star signs, because if either of them are a Virgo, actually, should we check? Let's check. Right, Keir Starmer. Oh my god, I'm actually scared to even type that name in. He is. No! He's a Virgo. This is actually awful for me. He's born 2nd of September. Literally, how? Like, that is crazy. That's so Raven of me. How did I say that and then it came true? Like, obviously he was born, but sadly, Sir Keir Rodney Starmer. I think she said the name was Millicent Bystander. Oh my god, he's married? Victoria Starmer. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. Actually, no, I'm not, because you chose to marry all that. Anyway, so he is 63. Let's see how old Elon Musk is. Oh my god, Elon Musk, don't hurt me. Oh my god, he's a Cancer. He's 54, so they're not really that far apart in age, so they could be lying about that. So I think they were born together as twins, maybe a few years apart, but they're still twins, right? One of them, Elon Musk, got sent to America to, like, an underground bunker where they indoctrinated him, kind of like Marvel vibes. Like, they just put stuff in his brain to make him the worst, most annoying person in the world. And then I don't know what happened for him to bag Grimes. I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, so he went through all of that, and then he just turned out evil, and, like, now he can only speak in, like, individual letters, which is why he named his son that. And he speaks for traditional family values when he has, like, 7 baby mums. Let's be very serious right now. And then Keir Starmer got sent to the English countryside and he got enrolled in private school, which like they paid a lot of money for him to go to, so they kind of raised him conservative, but they were like, you do not have like a cutting edge enough, like you are not the Rishi Sunak of your class, so we're going to put you in a Labour government, lead that, wear a red tie, but no underneath, you came from the blues, you came from the bloody blues, and that is what's going on. He is a conservative in a red tie. You cannot convince me otherwise. I actually think, like, if I saw him in person, I would be like, can I have a word with you and can I fight you? Can I scrap you? Last night I had a dream that I met, how do you say his name? Benicio del Toro? He was in One Battle After Another. He was in The Phoenician Scheme. He is a great actor and he is Legos. I had a dream that I met him and Olivia Dean. Mystical, Paul. Mystical. Anyway, so yeah, what was I even talking about? Oh, the fact that I got hate. Basically what happened was, this is quite a funny story and I've never told it before because I was kind of scared, but in my birthday, in my time capsule, that was my birthday, my 24th birthday this year. If you don't know, if you hadn't gathered, I'm a Virgo. I was born on 9/11, the day it happened, so it explains a lot, doesn't it? Anyway, so I'm the night before my birthday, famously night before the 11th of September, 10th of September, I'm in Paris with my beau, with my boo thang, Michael, right, and we are sat in this hotel room. Well, no, Michael's asleep and I'm just there on my phone and someone messages me, hey, Charlie Kirk's just been shot, and I was like, don't tease me. Don't tease me. And then she was like, no, he has. And I was like, he'll pull it through. Like, remember when Donald Trump got shot? Yeah, we all remember where we were when that happened with that fucking flimsy cotton wool pad. Like, that is like Boots Essentials cotton wool. That was not premium cotton wool. Anyway, we all know what happened then. He was completely fine. It was staged. So I was thinking, this shit was staged. Anyway, then I get told, have you seen the video? I see the video on Reddit. Fucking hell, it is a bit gruesome, right? Then when I wake up, he's goners, he's dead. And I'm thinking, clap if you care. No, I don't care. I don't care because that man was evil. That man who advocated for the Second Amendment, he wanted guns to be legal, which they are still. He wants guns to be legal, so he said that it's like sad but essential that school shootings happen because then it keeps the Second Amendment alive. And he also said that if his daughter got R-worded, he'd make her keep the baby. God forbid I think the daughter's safer now that he's gone, but then the mum is like an indoctrinated, brainwashed, mega Christian MAGA freak. Absolutely, like, scary Boots level of, like, insane. Scary Boots level. Like, imagine your child asks what's happened to their dad and you're like, oh, he's on a special mission with Jesus. Are we okay? Are we okay? Question mark. Are we good? Question mark. No, the F we're not. Consensus says no. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, okay. And the day before my birthday, so the night that I found out, when I saw the news that he got shot, I reshared it to my story before he died and I said, happy birthday to me. And I got unfollowed by someone. Excuse me? And obviously I posted that and then a lot of people didn't like it because they think that everyone is human and he was just trying to activate death activated. No, he was just trying to use his free speech, his right for free speech, and you can say what you want. Yeah, you can say what you want, but then you also can't expect to not be targeted and not get shot. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. Headshot 223. She's a baddie. Call the police. Yeah. So one sec. So I'm just pulling it down my trouser. So yeah, obviously it pissed a lot of people off. And then I saw a lot of it was just a huge divide. People that were like, you're allowed to be happy that someone's died because he was an awful person. And people were like, you should never celebrate anyone's death. And I was like, guess what? I don't care. I don't care. Excuse me? And this is where, you cannot pick your family. I'm sorry to say it, but you can't. It's the truth, right? So, I woke. Happily would admit I'm woke, very left-leaning. I am pro-Palestine, pro-trans people, pro-immigrants, pro-having empathy. That's what I'm pro. And then I got called a terrorist. And apparently that's what makes you a terrorist these days. So let that be a lesson to you all, that if you have empathy, you may be called that as well by your family. Anyway. So that's like a fun little thing that happened to me in Paris. And then I spent the whole of the third day we were there, so the day after my birthday, Boxing Day, we're at Disney, and I was just like really deep in it, and I was like, oh my god, like, have I done something wrong? And everyone around me was like, wake the fuck up, girl, no you haven't. Like, you are allowed to have an opinion the same way everyone else is allowed to have an opinion. And it's like, I can't help that you can't cure stupid, right? If you are choosing to get your news from Facebook and believe AI reform fucking shit that they post, that's not on me. That isn't on me. That's on you. So, yeah. I lost a few friends. No, actually, I didn't lose any friends. I lost blood relations over that. And then I ruffled some feathers when I said that Taylor Swift is shit and she is like a MAGA freak now as well, because like, the thing is, don't get me wrong, I think she's a talented songwriter. I truly do. And like, some of her songs, they hit deep. Cardigan, Mirrorball, Shake It Off, like all good songs, right, that I enjoy. And I'll still listen to some. Cruel Summer, Slut. Like, come on now. That Life of a Showgirl, don't even piss me off. Don't piss me off. And all of the stuff that's come out about it, and people be like, you're reaching. And I'm like, just let people reach. Like, she is the one that was like, I can't play the Super Bowl, thank God, because my fiance does such a dangerous job. Your fiance is a football player. Your fiance also apparently can't read. Your fiance, like, that photo shoot that came out and he's there in the water like this, I was like, oh, turn it off. Turn it off. Now, the thing is, you can like Taylor Swift, but I think her mega fans that cannot let people have a different opinion, and then they act like they know her. They'll be like, no, that's not what she meant. Did she tell you that personally? I don't think she did. So don't try and come at me being like, no, it's not like that. You can't tell me what it's like, bitch, because you don't know. You don't know. Did you know? No, you don't. So don't even piss me off. Anyway, in other news about don't even piss me off, and this is not a trick or a treat, Claudia and Tess have stepped down from Strictly. Now, I actually have so many things. Oh my god, me remembering that earlier I said, oh, I'm going to speak about celebrity traitors. We can actually go off celebrity traitors from here, okay? Bear with me, because it's never straightforward, is it? No. So, Tess and Claude have stepped down from Strictly Come Dancing. My mum telling me that, I was literally like, Gagatron, like, excuse me. Awesome. What do you mean they've stepped down? So they've made this, like, I just think the timing is really weird. Like, they're midway through a season of Strictly, which I am not watching it this year because Tom Skinner was on it. I hate that fucking guy. Or if it's illegal to hug your wife and enjoy a fucking steak and a fry up, then count me as a fucking criminal. That is a proper British values. Bosh. Shut your pie hole. Shut your pie hole. I just think he's so annoying, and all of the pictures of him from Strictly, like, that is torture material. Like, being him must be a humiliation ritual. Like, that is crazy. Anyway, so they made this announcement that they're like, oh, we're stepping down, we've had the best years, and like, there is deep lore with me and Strictly Come Dancing. Wait, I don't even know if this is focused on my face. Probably not. Probably not. So I used to watch Strictly Come Dancing every single year, because it used to, back in the day, it was hosted by Bruce Forsyth, which is an awful name for me to try and pronounce with somewhat speech impediment and this much spit in my mouth, and Tess Daly, right? And the judges were Craig Revel Horwood, Len Goodman, Arlene Phillips, and Bruno Tonioli. I know bull about this show, okay? I watched it every year. And another little fun fact is that Bruce Forsyth lived, rest in peace. And he lived, yes, obviously we all lived, but my dad used to empty his shit tank. Yes, that's my claim to fame! Humble beginnings. So he used to empty his shit tank. We knew him. We knew his housekeeper, okay? What was her name? We knew his housekeeper. We used to go and do the job and she'd give us full fat Coke. And that was when we weren't allowed full fat Coke because my brother was diabetic, which, oh my God, like, close your door or keep the noise down, please. Door is closed. Door is literally closed. Yeah, we got full fat Coke. We weren't allowed it because my brother's diabetic. Fun fact, don't know if people know that, but my brother's diabetic, type 1 diabetes. He's had diabetes since he was 7. And I used to be like so on my high horse about it. Like if people would be like, oh my God, I've ate so much sugar. I've eaten so much sugar. I've eaten so much sugar, I'm going to get diabetes. I'd be like, you literally can't say that because you do not know the struggle of having diabetes. And it's like, girl, neither did you. Neither do you. I just had someone in my life that has it, which is my brother. And like, we weren't allowed, like growing up, we had to have like diet everything or like low sugar everything. Like my brother would have diabetic, like no sugar ice cream. And I would always be like, this bitch, because if we were out of normal ice cream, I'd be like, can I have some? And my mum would be like, no. And then I'd be like, to be fair, it probably is just going to taste like feet anyway. It didn't. It just tasted of less sugary ice cream. And now he's 20. Oh my God, he's 29. And it's like, you can sort your insulin out for yourself. Like, this is none of our problems now. But growing up, like, it was actually a big dealio. And I actually felt so bad for him. I kind of still do, because it's like, it is pretty shit. But role models got it, so it's cool now. And like, you can have that little white patch. Then if people see that little white patch on the back of your arm where your like tracker goes, your Apple chip. No, where is it? Like your Elon Musk chip. No, that goes in your head. I don't even know. What is it? It tracks your blood sugar, right? Yeah, it tracks your blood sugar. Like, if people see that, they know that you're a bitch with a backstory. So that's always fun. Anyway, but I felt so bad for him. I remember crying at school about it once. I felt like guilty Ariana Grande. Like, I felt guilty Ariana Grande because I was like, this poor boy. Like, why you? And he had really bad eczema as well. But he got his licking because now I've, like, contracted eczema. That is, like, a whole journey I've been on. Anyway. So we kind of knew Bruce Forsyth. He would sign all my Strictly Come Dancing annuals, like the little annuals, like little. They were thick. They were chunky monkey. They would come out and I'd be like, oh my God, like sign my annual. And he did. And he signed a picture of himself, which is so cunty, can I just say, for my brother. Like, we had connections. Never went to a live showing of it, but whatever. So I loved Strictly Come Dancing growing up. Always wanted to be on it. And then this is actually how I not broke. I would say worse. Maybe this is where I went wrong. I cracked my head open when I was in year 1. I don't know if I've ever said about this. I probably have, because this is a huge part of my law. But in year 1, I cracked my head open. I was playing Strictly Come Dancing. Shock. I was playing Strictly Come Dancing and I had, oh my God, I literally remember it so vividly. I had this little scarf on that would just be, because I was in year 1, I had no boobs, it just covered like my nipples. And then it was like tied around my neck as this like fun little like, little costume. Yes, watch out, costume department, I'm coming for you. And then I was playing it and I was dancing, and then we had a running machine in our front room, which I think was probably the worst part about all of this, because why the F did we have that? And as I'm pretending to do this, like, not even a lift, but like, you know, when the men like hold the woman, then she like does that with her head. My God, she's a dancer. I did that, and then I pulled the running machine down, and it like just went on top of me, and I cracked my head open on the corner of our fireplace, and it was just like concrete. So I just cut my head, well, not even cut my head open, cracked it open like an egg. Like, it was probably hollow. Like, my mum probably saw it and was like, where's her brain? And so my mum had music on really loudly in the kitchen. I think she was cooking dinner, and I was just screaming. I was literally Scream 1 and Scream 2. Like, that is how much I was screaming. And my mum heard me scream, and she was like, Evan, call the ambulance. Called the ambulance. I definitely have spoken about this story before, because oh my God, I've quit my job, but I'm working tonight because I need money, because I'm going to Glasgow in December to see James. And it's a Taylor Swift tribute act. Don't ask why I said yes. And now she's asked for everyone to make a real effort with what they're wearing tonight. I was going to go like this. Maybe I won't now. Anyway. So that's how I cracked my head open. They bandaged me up. I literally was milking it for weeks. Still am to this day. And I'm now 24. Anyway, so I couldn't believe when Tess stood down. Like, Claudia, like, it's not as much of a loss. That sounds horrible. Yes, it is. I do love Claudia Winkleman. But, like, Tess, she is Strictly, like, she is one of the only remaining artifacts of Strictly. Her and Craig. Like, no one else. Craig. Who are the others? Anton, Shirley and Motzi. Yeah. Like her and Craig, like they're the only like OGs from back in the day. Like I was mortified when, well, mortified isn't the right word. Like I was really upset when Len Goodman passed away, because I was like, Len Goodman, like you had the crowd cheering when you went 7. Like you had all the girls laughing, and now you're dead, you know? Anyway, so yeah, I'm just really sad. And now I'm like, what if I got invited to go on it and like Tess isn't there to be like, next up, Maisie is shit. Maisie sucks ass. Like, who's going to say that now? And people are like, Rylan. And after Rylan's take on immigrants on This Morning, I'm like, please, God, no. Like, maybe Alan Carr would be quite funny. Because Alan Carr and Traitors, don't even get me started on Traitors. Do not get me started on Traitors. I have never watched Traitors before this season, right? So this is the first season they've done it with celebrities, which I don't know why it took so long to get there, because they will take anything normal and they'll be like, let's do it with people that are normal, but they're just a little bit more elevated. And by that I mean, like, I just still can't go over the construct of celebrities. Like, you're telling me these people are idolized and like worshipped, and they are just people. Like, do they have a chip? I don't know. Do you have a chip? I don't know. So Celebrity Traitors is on. I've never seen it before. I'm trying to get to like grips with the game. The last few weeks of my life have been turmoil, because how are they so bad at this game? And every single time I say that, my dad's like, well, they don't see what we see. And I'm like, it's not hard to see that Jonathan Ross is a traitor. Like, Ruth saw right through him, and then she was viciously murdered. Doesn't that say a lot? Doesn't that say a lot? I don't even know, man. I just think after watching night before, if they kill Nick, I actually may stop watching it out of anger. I did not know who Nick was before the Traitors started, and I am one of those bitches that's like, why are they on it? They're not a celeb. Strictly Mums would love me. No, to be fair, I'm like, of course you don't know who George Clark is, because you are over the age of 45. Like, be for real. And like, they're trying to cater to a wider audience. Doy. But that's obviously what they did with Nick, right? I didn't know who Nick was. The minute I saw him, I was like, I love you. I love you. When he did that puzzle, and people were saying it was like Jeffree Star with his palettes. Like, I love Nick. And the more he's spoken and the more that he gets involved, I'm like, if you go, hearts will break. Mainly mine. And I keep seeing edits of him on TikTok as well. I love Nick. I don't want him to die. And it got me thinking, and I couldn't help but think, would I be a good traitor? No, I wouldn't. Because although I am going to win an Oscar in my lifetime, and I am going to write a book, and I am going to release an album, like all these things, like guaranteed, right? I don't know how good I would be at lying to someone's face. Like Celia. If Celia came up to me and was like, are you a traitor? I would be like, no. Like, I would really struggle. And also, I'd just be that person at the round table being like, guys, can one of you just like dob yourself in? I would get pissed off so easily. Like, I do think there's underlying undiagnosed anger issues. Like, here, everywhere that you look, there's these sort of problems. So I'm like, oh, maybe it wouldn't be good for me. Because if I had voted out this many faithfuls, like they are at the moment, oh my God, I would lose my mind. I think I'd actually, like, they thought Mark was bad, slamming the table. I'd whack my head on the table. Like, it would be round 2. I'd crack my head open again out of anger. Because it's crazy. Like, they had no evidence for Tamika, no evidence for Nico. Claire Balding, I was like, whatever. Tom Daley, I was like, no, he is working overtime to find the traitors. But then he was always on the wrong path. But I did like how like much hatred he spewed towards Kate Garraway, and everyone coming after Kate being like, you have no brain, you can't think for yourself. Like, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, I beg your fucking pardon, I beg your fucking finest pardon. No, like, no opinions. Well, no one would say that to me because I literally never shut up about my opinions, but like these people are crazy. And now I'm like, should I apply to go on the normal one? No, because like, I think the Celebrity Traitors, it takes away a bit of that awkwardness of getting to know people, because you can kind of just like think about what you've seen of them, and then if they live up to that expectation, and then get to know them from there. And it's like kind of nicer to have like that sort of like awkward like first impression, first meeting bit kind of toned down a bit. But if I just met like random people, and then one of them, or like 1, 2, 3 of them were like lying to me, and I was a faithful, oh my God, Oh my god, I think I'd actually just walk around being like, yeah, I'm a traitor. Like, yeah, I'm a traitor. If I was a faithful. And if I was a traitor, I'd be like, yeah, well, obviously, if you're a traitor, you say, yeah, you're a faithful. Come on now. But, like, I haven't seen any of the other seasons. What? You know what I mean? Like, any of the past series. Anyway, but I have seen compilations of that Harry guy. He played that game like he had, oh my god, I can't even think of the right words to say. Like, he had that game in the palm of his hand. Like, the way he won and outed other traitors, like, that is kind of how you want to do it, right? Like, you don't want to get, like, played like a little bitch. Do you know what I mean? Because he was not having any of it. Oh my god, I'm as impressed. But I just think I don't know how good I'd be. And, like, my face, I have been commonly told, like, what? It's like common knowledge, or like, it's just like known that with me, and a few people have had, okay, this is when I'm worried about my speech. Because I'm like, if I ever did have an accident and a sign of me having this accident was my speech being slurred or slowing down, that is just common practice for me. Anyway, so I do think, see, I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Like, my face says something before my mouth does, but it doesn't take long for my mouth to catch up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, if someone's like, you're a cunt, I'd be like, who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take long. So I think if someone was like, Maisie's a traitor, I'd be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Also, my mum watching me lie, she'd be like, I don't like liars. I don't like liars. Like, she brought us up being like, I do not like liars. And that's so funny because my brother had a real lying problem, but I feel like most teenage boys do. I had a real problem with using too much toilet roll and never turning the lights off. Anyone else? And even today, like, the lighting is dog shit in here because this room is known in this house to be the worst for light. But the light, when I turn it on, it kind of looks weird and kind of orange. And also, growing up, my mum, if I left the light on, she'd be like, think of the polar bears you're killing. And now I'm worried that's what, no, she wouldn't say that, but she'd be like, think of the polar bears. And then I would think about them dying. And maybe that's why I'm so, like, upset when it comes to thinking about animals. Like, anything, sea life, sea world, the farming industry, anything. Orangutans, don't even get me started, palm oil. Like, it will just ruin my day. And I do think that's where it's come from. I was thinking about all my biggest fears when I was a child the other day. Flushing the toilet on an aeroplane. It was so loud and I hated it. Having the window down in the car and having, like, your head out of it. And then I was just, like, convinced I was going to get decapitated. And I haven't even seen Hereditary. So there was that. Chickens. Hugely scared of chickens. I'm trying to get over that because I would love to adopt chickens when I have a house. Also came to the sad realization the other day that the first house I move into after my family home isn't going to be a mansion. That really doesn't sit well with me, but whatever. And I don't even want a mansion. I just want a nice house, a swimming pool, and a fuck ton of land for animals. Okay, I want to rehome animals. Animals that were supposed to be killed, animals that weren't supposed to be killed. Any animal, I want it. I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. But apparently I don't. So what's that about, Ariana? Guilty Ariana Grande. Anyway, don't even get me started about Wicked. I cannot wait for part 2. It looks so good. Like, but all of the comments being like, the posters are ruining it. You cannot ruin or spoil a book that has been out for over 20 years. Let's be very serious right now. What were my other fears growing up? Witches. That was like my biggest fear growing up. I hated witches. Anytime we would watch a film with a witch in it, my friend's mum, like my best friend from my childhood, she would tell me that it's coming up and she would cover my eyes and my ears and she would turn the volume right down for me. Like, that is the level she was. Oh my god, I love her. I would also always have hot Ribena at her house in a Wallace and Gromit mug. You know the Gromit mug that the nose goes red when you put hot water in it? I love that mug, and I actually have my own one. He's up there. And she gave me money for my 21st birthday, so I bought that with the money because I love that mug. And then I remember going to her house one day and it had smashed, and I was like, so is there much point living now or what? Anyway, I can't think of any other fears I had. I did have a lot of fears. Like losing my mum and dad in the supermarket, but I feel like that's kind of like common fear. Oh no, I was so scared of being kidnapped. So scared of being kidnapped. Every time I'd walk the dogs, if I walked them on my own, I would make them run back home, because if I saw a man on his own or with his child, I'd be like, you're either going to poach me to be your wife, or you're going to poach me to be your daughter, or you're going to poach me to be the stepmom to your child. And like, I was terrified of men. Nothing changes, but like it was terrifying. Like, I was so scared that people were going to kidnap me, and my dad would always say to me, Maisie, don't worry if the my dad would always say, Maisie, don't worry, if they're going to kidnap a child, they'll choose a pretty one. And that joke came about a lot in my childhood. I was convinced I was adopted for a very long time. I don't know why I was so convinced, because I don't really remember anyone telling me I was adopted, or like even as a joke, you know, when brothers are like, oh, you're adopted. I don't ever remember hearing that. But on my 13th birthday, I did say to my dad, am I adopted? Because obviously traditionally that's when you get told. And he went, Maisie, if we were going to adopt a child, we would have chosen a pretty one. I also thought when I was younger that the amount of pounds a child is how many pounds you pay to take them home, and I was a £10 baby, and my dad said I wouldn't have paid that much for you. So yeah, my dad was my biggest hater and enemy, like the first one I had. Like, that is what I was combating, and he still is. And it's so funny, because I'm like, my dad is the best person in the world and I love him more than anything. And then I remember back to my childhood and I'm like, you were literally my first bully. But it was kind of good, because he was preparing me for how cruel people would be. Like, that was kind of tame. Like, I got bullied to shit in year 9. Like, they made a whole group chat about me. My own family involved in it as well. Like, there are so many things that have happened to me that I look back and I'm like, this is why you are the way you are. Like, this is why you are the person you've turned out to be. It's kind of scary, like, how every decision and everything that happens to you, like, impacts who you become. And it's like, maybe if people weren't so horrendous to me, I wouldn't be this much of a hater. But sadly they were, and I am this much of a hater now. Something I hate, the filler on Traitors, when they just show, like, random, like, what are the words, like, shots of, like, the castle, or like an owl, and it's got this shit cover of, like, actually it was not a shit cover of Back to Black. Sam Fender's cover of Back to Black is pretty good, but it'll be like Linkin Park, or it'll be something like that, and I'm like, let's just leave it to professionals. Like, these singers are obviously professionals, they sound good, but I'm just like, when I would turn into Traitors, when I tune into Traitors, what I want to see is who got murdered, why they chose them, breakfast, mission, round table, banishment, the end. I don't want all, like, I know that it's nice to know what they're all thinking, but they all just change their mind anyway. They are such a herd in there. Sheep mentality, man. I'm telling you. They'll be like, Jonathan Ross is a traitor. Jonathan Ross is a traitor. They get to that round table and they're like, I think David is a traitor. I think David is a traitor because David spoke today and he doesn't normally. And it's like, God forbid a guy has social anxiety. God forbid a guy is just sitting and thinking. He just sits back and observes. Because 99.9% of these F-boys can't F him. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't bring it on my boy David. And, like, David is smart boots. And then when they voted out Stephen, I was like, the only satisfaction I get from them voting out Faithfuls is when the person they've banished goes up to the circle at the front and then goes, I've always been a Faithful. And they actually hate themselves. Like, I live for that bit. Because I'm like, you deserve it. You deserve it because you are so dumb. And they'll be like, I really do think that maybe Kat's a traitor. And then Kat will be like, I promise you I'm not. And they're like, she's not. And I'm like, oh, let's be serious. Let's be so serious. Like, what do you mean, no, she's not? You've just asked her. Like, that, you do that to everyone at the table. They're going to go, I'm a faithful. Don't piss me off, man. Don't piss me off. I don't know. The thing is, I don't want to wear... Obviously, I never really said about my, in other news, like I said, I quit my job, which is, like, super fun because now I'm free and I don't have to work there anymore, but I'm now working with my dad, trying to save up to move out. I don't know how well that's going to go because part of me is like, yeah, I want to move out, and then the other part of me is like, why has Michael got so much beef with me wanting a pink Smeg kettle and toaster? Why has he got so much beef with me about this? Pick your fights. Like, you want to choose the TV. Like, go ahead. Go ahead. Pick the TV. But don't come for my kettle and toaster that I've dreamt of since I was 13 years old. But I also do just wonder, like, will I ever feel fully ready to move out? Probably not. Probably not. And I just think it is a lot of money you have to save. Like, I put £200 into my savings the other day, and I genuinely felt like a deep sense of mourning after I did it, because I was like, I can't touch that money now, because it's a sort of savings account where you put money in and they put interest on it if you don't take the money out. So every time you take money out, and I think it's after 3 times, they lower the interest like right down. And I don't understand maths or numbers. I've never really been very good at counting, right? Actually, that's a lie. I could count to 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94, 9 to 5, working 9 to 5. Like, I can count, but like, I'm just not good at maths. Even my hot Canadian maths teacher could not get more than a 4 out of me. Like, he couldn't. And I did extra maths every single chance that I had, before school, after school, during PE, during tutor, during RS, during any like lessons that he could take me out of to do maths. I would do maths. Like, that's how much I was doing it. I had a maths tutor and I still only just scraped a 4. You best believe I cried when I got it though, because I was so scared I would have to resit maths, because I hated maths. Maths hates me. Like, oh my god, that was such a comeback when you were younger. Oh, I hate Brussels sprouts. I think Brussels hate it would be a good comeback if I could fucking talk. I also think I'm getting ill because my mum has had like this killer cold, and now I'm feeling a little bit sniffly. Anyway, yeah, Brussels sprouts hate you more. Okay, no, best goated comeback. Oh, you're a bitch. Really? Well, a bitch is a dog, and a dog barks, and a bark is a part of a tree, and trees are nature, and nature is beautiful, so you just call me beautiful. Thanks. You're gay. Really? Well, gay means happy. So yeah, I am happy. Thanks. Like, we were cooking up on the playground saying all of these things, and then I just randomly got accusations of being a lesbian, which still makes me laugh so much, because it's like, where the fuck else are you gonna look when you're getting changed in an all-girls changing room? Like, sorry that I want to see what bra people have on. I want to get ideas. Sorry, I didn't know Pinterest was around in year 8. You know what I mean? Also, I used to love guessing. Like, I was Charlie XCX guessing what colour pants people had on. Like, I would always be like, to my friends in maths, I'd be like, guys, let's guess what colour pants we all have on. And my friend would always say purple. And every single time I was like, I don't own purple underwear. And it was always because she had purple on. So maybe she was trying to help me out. But that's probably why I didn't do well in maths. Because I was there like, girls, what colour pants has everyone got on? So maybe the lesbian accusations were right. And like, to be fair, bisexual. You get the best of both worlds. Speaking of purple, I've got my lovely purple bandana on. I don't know if I suit a bandana. Like, it was taking a long time to even, like, get this get up. Like, right? It took me a while to, like, figure out how I wanted to do my hair. And obviously I had to figure out my bagel stick. But we made it in the end. Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. I am not going as Tebow for actual Halloween. I'm going as Padme from Attack of the Clones. And Michael is going as Anakin from Revenge of the Sith, because obviously he's got like the long hair. And like, if you think I'm going to let him cut his hair short and just leave one strand for a plait, you are nuts. There is literally no way that would happen. It just, not now, not then, not ever. Like, it's not happening. So, yeah. No. No. But, yeah, we're going to Brighton for hello. We're in Surrey because we're seeing some of Michael's family here, and then we're driving to Brighton, going to this party, which I think is at his house, which I don't think his house is a good size for a party, because it's a good size, but it's laid out over 4 floors. But then every time I say that, Michael's like, it's a good house for a party, and I'm like, okay, pause, okay. So we're going there, and then on the first, I'm driving the fuck home because I'll need sleep. I do worry about how hungover I'll be because I do feel like I need to drink a lot to get through any night where I don't know many people, because I just don't think my personality has really worked in that situation before, and I do fear that it will just let me down again. Not that this personality is letting anyone down. Like, I literally was saying to someone the other day, like, a personality like mine comes once in a millennium. I'm sorry, but it does. Anyway, and then I'm coming back on the 1st, and I'll be right back where you left me. That's a Taylor Swift reference for all of you Swifties. I don't know if many people that watch me are a Swiftie. And when I say I don't like Taylor Swift, like, that is not me telling you not to like her. And I'm not judging you for liking her. I just think people that, like, can't even listen to Voice of Reason about some of the things that she's doing and how sketchy they are, then I'm like, hello. But, you know, that's the same as anything. That is the same as anything, I guess. Maybe. I don't really know. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed being back. I do miss having someone to converse with. I was thinking maybe that's why I'm not that, like, active with my podcast, because I do just have to talk at a camera, and that's what I do in my vlogs. Like, I've said this before, it's quite a struggle when you're, like, actively vlogging and then actively trying to have a podcast, because you kind of run out of things to talk about. But I do think, looking at, like, things that have happened, like, why did I not make a podcast right after Charlie Kirk died? Because I could have ran my mouth for at least an hour about that. But James, I'm going to visit him in Glasgow in December, which is so exciting. So I will be taking my podcast stuff with me so that we can film another episode, because I watched that episode back to make some clips of it yesterday, and oh my god, I literally was laughing out loud. Like, I think we are so funny, and I do think he is a male version of me, and since being friends with him, I've picked up so many of his mannerisms, and he's told me that his boyfriend said he picked up a lot of the way I, like, speak. Girls. Like, I literally said, how am I going to walk down the aisle without him being my bridesmaid? Like, I was thinking Sophie is a bridesmaid, and then, like, James is basically a bridesmaid, but he's in a suit and the tie is the same colour as Sophie's dress. Like, that is the sort of vibe I'm thinking of right now. But I am super excited to go to Glasgow because I've never been to Scotland before. Any Scottish folk? Thomas Doherty is Scottish? Dorothy? Right. And on that note, I think I'm gonna love you and leave you, because I have no idea what I'm saying, and I just feel like I'm getting very bunged up, and now I need to ask my cousin who got me the bagels to come round, because she lives across the road, so that she can help me film a TikTok in this outfit. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching or listening. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you loved the amount I hope you enjoyed the lengths that I went through to decorate for Halloween and my Halloween costume. I do think this is a great costume, and I think it's pretty spot on. I printed out the logo, the Groovy Smoothie logo, and I used fabric glue. Well, I say my mum let me use her fabric glue, and it stayed on pretty well for the hour. It is lifting a little bit, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? You can't do anything, because this is already a lot for me. I think this is a lot. And you know, this chair has not been sat in for so long that when I did sit in it, I found a Kinder chocolate bar, a Dairy Milk little chocolate bar, a what is it called? Like those white packets that you get, right? That you get in like a bag, like the Silka beads. What are they called? You know what I mean? Like the things that are like, don't eat this, but we'll put it in a bag anyway, but don't eat it. The silica, what are they called? Silica gel, yeah, and a camera battery. That's what I found when I went to sit down. So those are a few foreign objects that could have entered my anus today, but they didn't. And on that note, I'm gonna leave you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Anyone want a bagel? $5.